Even when I heard about this, I was like, oh goodness, here we go. There's typically when a black owned hair care or beauty product sells themselves to a non-black owned company, a lot of changes are made. Prices go up. Ingredients, the formulas, it typically changes because they're trying to reach a broader audience, so they're no longer using ingredients that is specific for black natural hair. Hey y'all, welcome to bcentrictv. My name is Nita. Welcome to those who are viewing this channel for the very first time. Thank you for being here, and thank you for those who are returning. If you have not subscribed, please be sure to click the subscribe button below and click the bell to be notified for when I upload videos. So today we're going to get into talking about Mielle Organics. If you are not familiar, it is or was a black owned hair care brand that used natural products in their as part of their ingredients to cater to black people, more specifically black women with natural textured hair. Mielle launched in 2014 and recently has been acquired by Proctor Gamble, aka P&G. They are a conglomerate company that owns many businesses. They have products such as Tide Gain. They also own products such as Gillette, Olay, Bevel, and My Black is Beautiful. So Mielle Organics is joining the likes of Shea Moisture, Carol's Daughter, and The Main Choice by being acquired by a larger non-black owned company. The CEO Monique and the COO Melvin Rodriguez, they will continue to be leaders. Monique is the CEO and Melvin is a COO, so they stated that they will continue to be leaders within the organization. And what I have noticed when I've been reading about, this acquisition is that they have been firm and very much been emphasizing that they will be an independent subsidiary. Now, I was aware and knowledgeable of what a subsidiary is, but they kept specifying independent. So I was like, well, is there something different? So apparently there are different types of subsidiaries. But for those who don't know, independent subsidiary means that any subsidiary of the company which maintains separate books and records from the company and observes all corporate formalities, pays all of its liabilities out of its own funds, in all dealings with the public, identifies itself under its own name as a separate and distinct entity, and does not commingle its assets with those of any other person, and includes at least one independent member on the board of directors. So that is the definition of what an independent subsidiary is, and that's the deal that they made with P&G. So basically, even though they don't own it anymore, it will still be led by them. So this deal was to help them be able to have brand expansion and maintain a level of autonomy over the business. So once this acquisition goes through, Mielle is looking to expand geographically. They're looking to expand to the UK, to South Africa, Dubai, and Nigeria, and they say wherever in the diaspora is needed. All right, so there have been a lot of concerns. Even when I heard about this, I was like, oh goodness, here we go. There's typically when a black owned hair care or beauty product sells themselves to a non-black owned company, a lot of changes are made. Prices go up. Ingredients, the formulas, it typically changes because they're trying to reach a broader audience. So they're no longer using ingredients that is specific for black natural hair. So although so that's a major concern amongst a lot of black people. There is already a lack of availability of quality brands that actually work for our hair. Like, there in the past 10 years or so, there has been an increase, and we are seeing more black owned products dedicated to maintaining and taking care of black hair on the shelves. However, it's still not as much as you would see a non-black owned company, right? So black people do prefer to use black owned products. It's just what it is. You know, typically if you're a black owned beauty owner, your products are more likely, you know what it is to be black, you know how our hair is, skin is, so you're going to make your stuff that's going to cater more to black. But only 4 to 7% of beauty brands carried by specialty stores, drugstores, and grocery stores are black brands. So yes, we have seen an increase over the years, but it is still a very minor amount compared to other non-black owned brands. Black brands in the beauty industry also raise substantially less venture in capital. So that's also another reason why you don't see a vast amount of black owned products on the shelves, is because it takes money. You got to be able to deliver, package, and you got to have the staff. So that takes capital. And that is what a lot of black owned businesses lack. Now, our businesses have, like I said, substantially less venture capital than non-black brands. But the thing about it is that we have a significantly higher return than non-black owned brands within the same period. So I don't know, it's just like the math ain't mathing, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. You would think that because black people who own beauty products and hair care products are doing so well, that they would be able to get investors to help them with their companies, but it is very hard. And Mielle is actually the first, well, really the only black business in their industry, in the hair care industry, to actually have a 100 million investment from Berkshire Partners. That is like, that's crazy, because it's not crazy, but it's great. It's awesome that they was able to receive that, because it stated that less than 100 black female founders have even secured 1 million for their ventures. So black women, and black people in general, can barely even get $1 million to be invested into their company. So for them to get $100 million, I think, and that was in 2001, I believe this was bound to happen. This was very much bound to happen. So another concern is gentrification. So apparently recently there has been a TikToker, a white woman, I don't know her name. She has been using the Mielle rosemary oil. Now, the rosemary oil is actually the only product I had ever used by Mielle. And I only used it one time, and I thought it was okay. It was okay. I didn't get it again, and it's not that I wouldn't, I just didn't, but it was pretty good. So basically this TikToker has been using it. Apparently it's been working for her, and of course her audience is mostly white, and a lot of black people who buy the oil have noticed that it has been hard to get. It has been sold out, and a lot of it has to do with that particular TikToker. So many black women who use the product are concerned that they're going to start changing the ingredients to cater, because they see that a lot of these white people are getting put on. to this product, so they're going to change the ingredients to start catering to them, just as Shea Moisture did. So Shea Moisture did that in the past. They wanted to change their business model and start catering to a more broader audience, basically, down to the commercials, changing the ingredients, and that backfired. It very much backfired. Can't remember when that happened, but that was like not too many years ago, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. But I think most of y'all remember that whole tobacco. It very much backfired, and now you don't even really hear people talking about using Shea Moisture anymore. So you really gotta be careful. These businesses have to be very careful when they start wanting to expand and get into other markets, because Shea Moisture had a very loyal following. Now I don't see many people using them like that, many people that I know. So here's the thing and how I feel about it. I don't feel like these black-owned beauty products and hair care products and things along that realm in that industry, I don't feel that they need to cater to the masses. They don't need to. Black people are the largest consumer when it comes to beauty spending. We are 11.1% of the total beauty spending. And this is a billion dollar industry. So I don't see a need to change formulas, expanding your brand to cater to non-black people when there are so many black people around the world that need our products. Our hair is coarser, is different. I don't see, there are plenty of other black-owned businesses who are still successful, who have not changed their business model to cater to others. I don't think it's necessary to do that. Now, I do understand to some degree why some businesses do sell. You know, there are reasons such as access. You have access to a more experienced people, experts in different things like that. You have access to capital because, you know, when you have a business, most people want their business to grow and it to get to the masses. And of course, you want to make money, you know, so you have access to capital. It's a reduction in risk, you know, so because of the capital, you know, you're under the umbrella of a bigger company. So you reduce a little bit of risk. And also some companies, maybe smaller companies, could be going through possible bankruptcy, you know, having financial issues. So in order to keep that brand alive, sometimes they have to sell a major portion of their company to stay in business. So there are reasons that I do understand. But when it comes to expanding to others, I don't see the point, and I don't see it necessary. Now, also, I was looking on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter much at all, but every now and then I'm looking through there. I'm looking and seeing what people saying, and I saw a comment stating that, you know, how come black people can't see this as generational wealth? And in my mind, I'm like, generational wealth for who? If you no longer, maybe I'm not understanding. Maybe one of y'all can let me know. But I mean, generational wealth is basically passing on whatever money you've gained in your life to your heirs, right? To your family. It's not really about community. You know, my outlook on generational wealth has changed over the years. Like, don't get it twisted. You should definitely set your family up when you pass. Have your life insurance, have your things in order so they don't collect your debt. Leave something for them so they can, you know, have a little boost in life, right? But people have used generational wealth as a way to, I don't know, it's like, to find this way to basically participate, to be major part. I mean, we're all participants in capitalism because that's the society we live in. But it's just been this big push of black capitalism in our community, and I don't want to get too much into it, but it's I have my outlooks on it, but I feel like this is that type of move. Even though she stated that this is a sell up, they're going to still be doing things within the community. And I'm not saying they're selling out, but I feel like it's a false sense of Black liberation. You can't talk about liberation and freedom when you're selling to, for lack of, selling to the oppressor. I mean, it's just what it is. Selling to the oppressor. You can't mask it as liberation. It's Black. It's capitalism. And that's what it is. I feel like, and I'm not saying that they can't still help the community. Of course, if you have, you can still help the community by donating and building programs and different things like that. You definitely can. So I'm not taking, and I'm also not saying that they should not have sell. I feel like at the end of the day, that's their business. They have to do what they feel was right for them financially and what they can handle and could not handle or whatnot. So who knows? Maybe their children didn't want the business and it was like, well, let me go ahead and let us just go ahead and sell it since they don't want it anyway. They want to do their own thing. Who knows? We don't know the reason because they didn't really disclose why, but she definitely said in an Instagram post that this is not a sellout. This is a sell up. I definitely think I definitely don't want it to be masked as some type of Black liberation because it's not. It's definitely capitalism, and like I said, we all participate, and I'm not telling nobody don't get your money, get your money, because I'm gonna get mine, but we do have to, I'm not gonna get into that, I'm gonna leave that alone, because I'm a business, creating a business myself, so it's something to really think about, and it's like, I don't want to pass judgment because who knows what I have to do in my future. You know what I'm saying? So it's really something, it's a really sticky situation. And I can understand the consumer's point of view and I can understand the owner's point of view. It's just hard to tell. So do I feel that Mielle Organics, the owners, are sellouts? I wouldn't say they're sellouts. I definitely wouldn't say they're sellouts. Let me not say they're not sellouts. I don't believe they're sellouts. I feel like sometimes people just do what's best for them, and it may not be favorable to the masses sometimes. I don't know the ins and out of their business and what their business goals are. I don't know that, so I don't want to call them sellouts because they could possibly be doing way more for the community than someone who is just sitting by their computer with their Twitter fingers typing up, right? But I will say, as a consumer, I feel like I would prefer to purchase from a Black owned company, especially when it comes to hair care and beauty care and things like that, and skincare, like as much as I can. Now, of course, everything I have is not Black owned, but when it comes to my hair, I think pretty much a good 99% of my stuff is Black owned, with the exception of maybe one or two things. Everything I put in my hair is Black owned, and that's because I feel like someone who is Black is going to make a product that is for me. I just feel better about it. That, and also support keeping because it's good that we have ownership and things like that. I don't feel it's necessary for me to purchase a non-Black owned hair care brand. So would I necessarily be purchasing anything from them? I don't know. Like I said, I honestly never bought anything anyway, except for that one rose oil, and that was a few years ago. So I don't know. Maybe let me know. Will you still be shopping with Mielle? And like I said, they still could be contributing to the community, so I'm not gonna call them a sellout. I don't know what it is they do, but they got some money now, child. So, and like I said before, I'm not necessarily canceling them and doing all of that. I don't, all that cancel culture and stuff. But it's whether, if you're gonna buy it, you're gonna buy it. If you're not, you're not. That's how I look at it. But one thing I do want to say, add to this, that, like I said before, I don't want us to mask this as some type of Black liberation. At the end of the day, this was more for them than more for the consumer. Because if it was really for the consumer, they would have kept it Black owned. I don't know if they're changing it. She said they're not changing the ingredients, but whatever it is, I feel like anytime you're selling to a non-black, or you're selling, and it's not necessarily a financial, well, even if it is, it was for them. And at the end of the day, as a business owner, you have to do what's best for your business and what you feel is best for you. It's just what it is. That's the way of the world. But we're just not going to spin it to make it seem like it's some type of black liberation, generational wealth thing. Because the generational wealth is not for the community. It's for them. And that's okay. It's just the world we live in. But and I understand that they have to kind of spin the narrative and give the politically correct answer. So I get it. Business is business, and whether we like it or not, sometimes you have to play the game. You got to play the game sometimes, but let's not mistake it for liberation. Let's call it what it is. It's capitalism. Point blank, period. Now, what y'all think about Mielle Organics selling their company? Will you still be purchasing their products? Have you purchased their products before? Do you like them? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.